Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. What is the essence of sannyasa and tyaga? Because these are the two most commonly, frequently and loosely used words when we enter the spiritual path. So what is the exact meaning? Now, as the greatest scientist of life, Bhagavan Sri Krishna begins the opinion of wise people in this field. First, Kamyanam Karmanam Nyasam Sannyasam Kavayo Viduhu. Some wise people have opined that renunciation of desire prompted activities is called as sannyas. And Vichakshanaha. And there are some more people who are expert in this field. They say Sarva Karma Phalatyagam Prahustyagam Vichakshanaha. Renunciation of association or insistence about the karma phala, about the results of our activities, that is called as tyaga. In short, both of them come to a common point. Whether you talk of sannyasa or you talk of tyaga, both of them are of the nature of giving up. In sannyasa, you give up the desire promptings behind all activities. In tyaga, you give up your attachment to the results of karma. This is what we have seen yesterday. Now continuing the thought further, in the third verse, the teacher says, Tyajyam doshavadityeke karma prahur manishinaha. There are still other people, and this is here, Bhagavan Krishna is specifically referring to the Sankhya philosophers. What they say, doshavat. Doshavat means always associated with the limitations. And what is associated with the limitation? Every karma. Whether you do good karma or bad karma, it is bound to create the result, karma phala. And this karma phala is the cause of our transmigration from one life to another life. And therefore, Sankhyas, they say, give up all the karma. Not only desire prompted activities, but all the activities. Tyajyam doshavat iti eke karma prahur manishina. Or we can think in other way also, that like which are the things that we give up, doshavat. Anything which is associated with the dosha, limitation, bad impact, that is given up. So what is that which is associated with the bad impact, the desires, the anger, etc. we give up in the same manner. We must know that we do the karma, but we should give up the bad aspect of the karma. This is how the opinion of the third category of the scientists. Now, there is a fourth category. See, there are four references quoted by Bhagavan Sri Krishna. The review of literature is exhaustive, not only one. And after that, ibid. No, he is referring four different philosophies. Now what he says, Yajna dana tapak karma na tyajyam iti cha apare. Now there are still other scientists of our life. They say, look here. These are the three areas of activities which should never be given up. And which are those? Yajna, Dana and Tapa. These three are the things. They should never be given up. They should be continued throughout our life. So, This is the present literature available about sannyasa and the tyaga in the scriptures. Because what was the question of Arjun? Arjuna's question was, kindly tell me the essence of sannyasa and tyaga. Now these are the opinions. After having given the opinions, now the teacher, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, gives his conclusion based on his interaction with these opinions. He says, Nishchayam shrudu me tatra tyage bharata sattama tyago hi purusha vyaghra trividaha samprakirtitaha. So first principle he says, tyago hi means whether you are talking of sannyasa as renunciation or you talk of tyaga, of giving up everything, both of them fall in the same category wherein something is given up. See, in Kaivalya Upanishad, the mantra comes. And this mantra is chanted when Babajis are received with the Purna Kumbha. Purna Kumbha, why Purna Kumbha? Because to receive the Kumbha Karna, you require a Kumbha. So, na karmana na pradayadhanena tyage yanaike amritatvamānashuh. Immortality is attained and achieved tyagena eke, only by giving up. Now be very attentive. There are so many shades of this one word, giving up. So, what we have to give up? Body, wife, children, husband, nationality. What we have to give up? These things have never troubled us. If somebody tells my wife troubles me, if somebody tells my husband troubles me, then they have not known how to deal with. It is their ignorance. So what is the meaning of giving up? The real thing that is to be given up is our wrong notions about ourselves. See? We all suffer because we are carrying the load of wrong notions. And here, therefore, the teacher says, hey Arjun, whether you talk of sannyasa or the tyaga, you have to give up. And what is that? The wrong notions. Wrong notions about what? Karma. Now see, we have seen 4 notions about karma. One says, give up desire prompting or promptings of desire behind karma. How it is possible? You can't directly tell, don't desire anything. And such people become lazy, indolent. No, desire is required. Only thing, the energy of desire has to be directed in a right direction. That is important. So, there are so many aspects. Give up karma. Like, there was a social worker. Who is a social worker? Who is a failure at home and therefore tries to be successful in the society is called a social worker. So, there was a social worker and he was going and he saw one poor man eating some kind of, old, useless kind of food, dried bread. And the social worker saw. Social workers see everything else except themselves. So he saw, hey, what are you eating? I am eating this. Do you know there is no nutritive value to this? Now that beggar was thinking, what do I do then? Don't eat that. It is not good for you. Okay, he threw it away. Now what do I eat? I don't know. At least earlier he was eating something. So, tyaga, give up. It's very easy to say that you should not function in this world with desires. Be desireless. Therefore, the correct understanding about giving up has to be corrected in our understanding. Otherwise, we will get lost. Therefore, Bhagavan says, Nishchayam shrudu me tatra. Now, Arjun, I shall tell you for certain. Nishchayam means something, the essence of it. Tyagaha, first principle. I agree, renunciation, giving up is the first principle of life. Those who cannot give up the waking world, they cannot enter deep sleep. Those who don't get sleep means what? They are not able to drop something or the other. We are holding on to something or the other. And therefore we can't sleep. And there are experts. Tyagi in North India, in Haryana, one of the title is Mr. Tyagi. And there are some people, they are so much Tyagi, even in the satsang. Tyage nahi amritattva Maharaj. So, this Tyaga has to be practiced. So, Nishchayam Shudume Tatra Tyage Bharata Sattama. About the Tyaga, I shall tell you, listen. Now, Tyagaha, the first of all we have to understand that renunciation, giving up, is the foundation of life. First principle. Those who cannot give up the waking state, they cannot enter the deep sleep. Those who cannot give up the deep sleep, they cannot come back in the waking state. Those who have not given up their home, they could not come over here. And those who will not give up, they will never be able to reach home. In short, we have to learn this basic principle of life. Life is a perfect balance between holding and letting go. But we hold on to that which is not required. And we let go that which is required. Therefore, let us understand the principle about this Tyaga or renunciation. And here, Bhagavan Sri Krishna addresses Arjun in two ways. One, Bharata Sattama, the best among the Indians, Bharata Ratna. Bharata Sattama is Bharata Ratna. Now, who is the best person? The best person is he who himself is happy and doesn't make anybody miserable. See? And in this category, only saints and sages can be included. See? If you take the life of our Santa Gyaneshwar Maharaj, how much torture and worse times he has sailed through in his life. But is there a single word of bitterness and vengeance against any community? No. That is the meaning of a real saint. And therefore, Bharata Sattama, the best among the human beings, will be that or he who does not carry any bitterness, and such a person alone will be able to practice these scientific truths. Therefore, hey Bharata Sattama. And second is, hey Purusha Vyaghra. Purusha Vyaghra means, the president of Tiger Club. Vyaghra is tiger. No, it is not the lions, because lions we already have. Bhagavad Gita has got its originality. There is no lions club, tiger. Wow, all the time. So Purusha Vyaghra, the best, most courageous one. Real courage is required for giving up our own notions. So this Tyaga, renunciation, is of three types. Trividaha Samprakirtitaha. After having told this, now first of all, the essence of the karma and what is the use of karma in our life, that is spelled out clearly. The fifth verse, Yajnedana tapak karma na tyajam karyam evatat Yajnyo danam tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam. Now here these three words we will try to understand. Yajna, dana, tapa. These three kinds of karma, na tyajyam, they should never be given up in life. And not only that, karyam eva, we have to practice. Please remember one thing. This is very essential aspect of life. Not a single day in our life remains unaccounted. That is the goal. 365 days in a year, they are accounted. There is no holiday. Then you see the joy of life. You know, we really become miserable in life never because we are short of time. We become miserable in life when we are excess of time. When the summer vacation comes, all the parents are most miserable. What is the reason? Your children have got all the time. And when they have got all the time, they become a source of nuisance to the parents. Be very attentive. Those who are VRS parents, they will become a source of nuisance to the children. Badla. Isn't it? Therefore, karyam eva tat. Never leave one single day in your life unaccounted. Now, second thing, what should we do? Now, these are few principles which I respect, honor, and the same thing I am telling you. One, never live in your life without producing wealth. We have to produce wealth. I'll tell you the importance of this. There is a friend of mine, he was working somewhere in Bombay only, some company. And then he got retired. And he called me for food in his house. So I went. And he said, Swamiji, now I am totally retired. I want to come and serve you in your ashram. So what should I do? I said, first service, keep away from me. That will be the highest service. There can't be better things. Second thing, no, I am ready to do any work. The other day, one lady met me. Swamiji, I have a Guru Maharaj and he talks always with closed eyes and he tells something really great. And whenever I go and tell him, Maharaj, I want to give up my husband, my children and go to the ashram and serve. I am ready to even wash the wounds of a leper, but not that of the husband's unsaved. And you know, I have got that funny faculty which hears what is not said. So, you please guide me. I said, you go to your Guru Maharaj and listen to him. See, what will you do going to the ashram? Now you must be eating the head of your husband. And after you go to the ashram, you will eat the heads of the Babajis there. No, don't go anywhere. Then what is to be done? Please remember, produce wealth. So that gentleman who was asking me, he said, Swamiji, where is the job? I won't get. I said, suppose you get. He said, then I will work. I said, okay, you will get job in 15 days time. And see the Lord's Leela. He got a job. And that too in Middle East. Swamiji, you said and I got the job. I said, now you can't run away. He said, yes. Now what I had to do? I told him, I said, look here. So far you lived in your life producing wealth for yourself. Yes. Now this total amount that you will earn, don't earn for yourself. Keep what is required for your maintenance, 20%, 30%, 40%, Don't give me a single pie. Whichever work inspires you, donate that whole amount there and see what happens. And he is such a courageous person. He did it. And within a period of 1 month, he says, Swamiji, I could never imagine that this also could be a lifestyle. And so cheerful and happy. Normally retired people are... Now what can I talk about your experience? Isn't it? Constantly complaining, disgusted, eating the head, the food of the people at home. See? Therefore, please remember this principle. Never spend 1 day of your life when you have not produced wealth. You have to produce wealth. So, now here the teacher tells, Karyam eva tat. They have to be practiced. There is no choice. Don't give any choice to yourself. That no, baap ka paisa hai udane ke liye, why should I work? You are destroying yourself. Please remember that. About this I will tell you. In Rishikesh, probably, yes, Rishikesh, there were a number of sannyasis. And they used to meet each other and all that. There is a good number of sannyasis there. Then there was one educated sannyasi who was a retired IAS officer. And he took the sannyas and never talking to everybody, keeping himself, that arrogance of the power doesn't leave so early. And there sannyasi means when you change the clothes, gadha, ghoda, ek line. There is no difference. But here, always, I am not like other sannyasis, begging and eating. I have my own pension and on that I survive. This is how I live my spiritual life. And one day, one great Mahatma, he was asked, Sir, such and such sannyasi, he is so educated and he has given up everything and he comes and stays here. But what is that because of which he is isolated and culled out from the total sannyasi community? What is the reason? So that old Mahatma very casually said, look here, he still is having that notion that he is far superior than others because he is living on his own money. See? Tyage naike amrutatva manashu. Very easy. Therefore, unless we are able to survive without depending on anything or anybody, till then, continue to work. Don't give up. Therefore, karyam eva tat na tyajyam. Now, what are the three things? Yajna, dana and tapas. Now, what is the meaning of yajna? One by one we will take. This is the beauty of our Bhagavad Gita. Yajna need not be limited to the yajna shala, where you make a hole in the soil and then put cow dung and the bricks and all that, and all the different type of makeup or made up people are sitting together and they chant some kind of mantras which nobody understands, and then they go on pouring the things to be burned. This alone is not the meaning of yajna. Please understand. Yajna means a lifestyle where we remain aware of what we have received from the world and thereafter ready to pay back. That lifestyle is called as Yajna 1. Second thing, when we have to give in this world, what is that which should be given? Is it only the things which we don't require? No. Whatever we have received, we have to give multifold to the society, to the world, to the parents, to the teachers. Yajna therefore means a lifestyle wherein we become aware of our contribution to the world where we live. Otherwise, simply live, eat, destroy good food into a homogeneous manure, no. Yajna. The second meaning of yajna is yajnarthat karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. Yajna means the Lord. One of the names of the Lord is Yajna. So tadartham karma kaunteya. Let every action of yours be a worship to the Lord. See how beautiful it is. Means when we are doing our karma, here is a very subtle point, be attentive. When we are doing karma, our individuality is redefined. I am now speaking to you on Gita. So, who am I now? I am now a teacher. So, this karma of talking is redefining and clearly telling what is my identity at this moment. Similarly, I suppose you are listening. I can only suppose. So, suppose you are listening. Then now at this time as a listener, this is your identity. And when this identity is associated with all the karmas are put together, an ego is born. See, I work as a wife to my husband. Slowly, a wife ego is born. I work as a husband to the wife. Slowly, a husband ego is born. I go to satsang every day. Slowly, satsangi ego is born. See? And the more we become strong in our individuality, the more tragic is our life. What is to be done? Here comes the technique. Do your karma, but never allow this individuality to be crystallized. Meaning, karma where karta is not born is called as yajna. See, karma is activity. Karta is an actor, a doer. When a doer is not born, but a karma is done, that is called as yajna. Yajna arthat karmanonyatra. Now see, when we go to the temple and worship the Lord, when we are worshipping the Lord, what will be our attitude? It will be, everything will be done perfectly well. Everything will be done cheerfully. And while doing anything to the Lord as a worshipper, we will feel blessed, and it will never be considered as a burden on our mind. Yajna means that lifestyle where every activity is performed with a cheerful disposition without considering life as a burden on our head. That is called as yajna. This should never be given up. Yajna, danam. Now the second is dana. Dana is giving something charity. Now in this dana, what we have to understand is, why do we give to others? First principle. There are different stages through which we have to evolve. First, we are so much obsessed by the possessions. We have become extremely possessive of the things. Isn't it? Go and see in your own houses. I think I have to extend my house. One more room is required. For what? For staying. What about other rooms? Furniture is filled in. You see, many houses, they gather so much of things that the question is, like, one Indian railway advertisement I saw. Surprising railway and wit and humor, but they are good advertisement. One passenger going to the platform with lots and lots of luggage. Caption was, "Are you accompanying the luggage?" That means the luggage is traveling and you are simply going with that, or what? In the same manner, in our life, how many things we keep on accumulating. Why this accumulation come? Because we have never learned to give. One of the most essential spiritual practice is readiness and the willingness to give whatever we have. One of the most important spiritual practice. In Vrindavan, there is one person. So sometime when I go, I meet him, stay with him. He told me something very peculiar. He is a Marwadi, and he says, "Swamiji, my father stayed in Vrindavan about 150 years before. This whole place was purchased for 150 rupees. And now it's a big, beautiful place." And he said, my father had a rule. Unless he gives at least those days 1 paisa to somebody, he will not take food. A rule. He said, by that what happens? We train ourselves to give. Please remember, the moment a good sankalpa comes in your mind to give something to somebody, give up. This is how we have to learn. Now the question is, in giving up again, like the yajna, again the ego develops. See? I have given so much, and therefore I should be included in the management committee. Then I can give this much money. See, these are the cartoons of charity. So danam means what? Dana means it is our necessity that we have to share. The world doesn't need anything from us. Please remember this. When we were not in this world, the world was beautiful. One day, one person asked me this question, "Swamiji, why the world is so horrible these days?" I said, "Why horrible? Every time it is like that." There is nothing new in this world. Earlier there was Hiranyakashipu in Satyayug. Then there was Ravana in the Treta Yuga. Then there was Duryodhana, etc. in the Dwapar Yuga. In Kali Yuga, you and me are here. What is new? It was always like that. And nothing new in this world. No. Why such a terrible world is today? I said, okay. Before this world was better, I think it must be better than this. World can't be worse than what is today. Very good. Will the world be not worse than today, tomorrow? I don't think. Very good. So today the world is the worst. And you are present in this world today. Found out the cause why the world is so bad. Because earlier you were not there, afterwards you will not be there. Now you are there, and that is the reason the world is so horrible. And what is that? Because the habit of not sharing what we have. See? Therefore, danam is our necessity. And those who are unable to give up anything in their life, they carry the load throughout life. So danam. And when we understand this our necessity, then we will have a different attitude towards life. So yajna danam. Now the third is tapas. Tapas is austerities. Now, what is the meaning of austerity? We have two problems in our life. Problem number one, our so-called imaginary dependence on the worldly things and beings. If you want to torture a Punjabi lady, tell her to cook food without onion, garlic and tomato. She cannot. How can you cook without the onion and garlic and tomato? Now Chaturmas comes. And in that Chaturmas, you are not supposed to have that thing. And then you go through. And after going through, then comes Kande Navami. And on that Kande Navami, even they will put that kanda, that onion, in the tea also, so that, the whole revenge is taken away. Please remember, tapas is a technique wherein you discover that you are not dependent on anything in this world. See? Discover that. We only imagine. I don't think I can live without you, without her. They continue living. They don't die. It was only one rare fellow like Dasharath Maharaj who said that I cannot live without Rama, and he died. So many people said so many times, we are waiting. So, this is our wrong notion that we are dependent on things and without that we cannot survive. This wrong notion is corrected by this tapasya. See? Once you start, then you can understand. So how do we start? You start first from the food. You suppose you like rasgulla. Why suppose? And then you say that I am not going to eat rasgulla for next, let us say, few days, 25 years. And thereafter, you will get diabetes, don't worry. So you don't have to eat. Then what for to survive? What is the reason to live? But we forget that we have become victimized by our own wrong notions. Once you discover this, that you can survive independent of all the so-called supports that we are holding on to, you know what will happen? You will discover self-confidence. Unless you have self-confidence, you cannot lead your life with joy and success. See, I went to New Zealand. On the airport when you go, something very beautiful is written. We respect those explorers who have the courage to leave the whole place of origin and go independently. May what happen? See how great it is. Who can do that? He who has got confidence. Tapasya invokes these two faculties in us. First, let us not have that wrong notion that without this or without that life is impossible. No. You can continue. And second thing, you have the guts. Don't underestimate your own potentiality. You can. These two things are invoked by tapasya. Like, suppose you decide to do Ekadashi. When you decide to observe Ekadashi, so from the Dashmi, 10th day onwards, you start feeling very funny. I think my blood pressure is going down. And I think, I should do something, What are the options of Ekadashi food? Can we have the fast food? So if you want to do Ekadashi and enjoy, pray to the Lord. Oh Lord, make me a Gujarati or a Marwadi. You will want to have everyday Ekadashi. Such a lovely food you get to eat. Isn't it? So, when you decide that you have to do Ekadashi, we start losing. I don't think I can. See, I'm getting some cramp in my stomach. Don't eat. At the most, what will happen? You will die. Problem's over. Don't eat. And I guarantee you, you will not die. Then you will discover, hey, I can do this. Be very attentive. This faculty is required when you sit for meditation. Our problem is, we sit for meditation and we feel as if I have been sitting for 3 yugas. And again, I think there is something coming from backside. I think there is some fly landing on the nose. I think there is something scratching here. These are all the tricks of the mind. Be strong enough. No means no. Then you will discover your confidence. Spiritual practice is meant to help us discover that the dependence is our mind's projection. It is no more there. We only imagine. Like, those who are non-vegetarians. They imagine. I don't know how people can survive without non-vegetarian. And if they start, they can still survive. Destroying the vegetarian food. Therefore, yajna, dana, tapas. When these 3 things are to be practiced in life, the question is, why we should practice these 3 things? Because yajnodanam tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam. Pavanani is not a Sindhi. Bhagwan has brought some Sindhi here. Pavanani, not a Sindhi. So, yajnodana tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam. Because karmani, so the verb associated with the karmani becomes pavanani. So karmani pavanani. Dusra bhi Sindhi. So pavanani means what? Purifiers. These 3 are the techniques by which we purify ourselves. All the spiritual life is a process of purification. At this stage, we are so much dirtied that although technically we are absolute conscious blissful existence, yet start behaving like a miserable, disgusted, constantly fearful existence. Where from this impurity has gone into us? The wrong identity. This is the foundation of Bhagavad Gita. First chapter talks about this one topic. Identity crisis. Arjuna had this crisis. Whether I am a warrior on the battlefield, warrior not a Malayali. So whether I am a warrior on the battlefield or I am a grandson to the grandfather or I am the disciple to the Guru. In the same manner, whether I am the body, whether I am the pranamaya kosha, whether I am the mind and the modifications of the mind, whether I am the arrogant ego, or who am I? See? Unless, friends, this identity crisis is resolved, you will continue to suffer throughout life. Nay, hereafter also. There is one lecture series which I delivered in Madhya Pradesh. Actual Madhya Pradesh, not this one. And that lecture series was मैं से मुक्ति या मैं को मुक्ति. In English it means freedom for I or freedom of I or freedom from I rather. Are we seeking freedom as I or we are seeking freedom from I? See the difference. We all suffer only because of this one factor. And the factor is identity crisis. Once we attack the problem right in the roots, everything is solved. And that impurity of identity crisis is creating all the problems of our life. And this can be resolved by this technique of yajna, dana, tapaha, three things. These are the purifying processes. Now, what is the purification that will happen? When we start practicing yajna in our life, our attention will be less towards the selfishness and more towards the sacrifice. Danam. When we practice Danam in our life, our attention will be more on sharing and less on accumulating. And when we start practicing tapas, our attention will be on discovering the inner strength. I can do this. This is the purpose of living life scientifically. Otherwise, our Nachiket Maharaj tells, Sasyamiva martyaha vacchate sasyamiva jayate punaha. Like the grass, we grow. Like the grass, we perish. Is this all life? Think twice. Are we born because of the passions of the parents? Are we growing because the calendar doesn't stop? And are we going to die because this is the formality to be completed? No. There is some higher purpose of life. The day we focus our attention on something higher, lower drops. See? And for that, we require a disciplined scientific approach. Now, what is the disciplined scientific approach? When we are functioning in this world, there are three areas where we can get caught up. Area number one, the field of operation. All the time we live in our life only to evaluate what I have accumulated in this world. One place. Second place where we get lost. What I have accumulated as experiences of life. And such people have nothing else to talk except their experiences of the dead past. Do you know one reason why the elderly people are found to be misfit in the younger generation group? What is the reason? Because they have all the past to talk, nothing else. And their past. But we forget, nobody is interested in our past. Everybody is worried about their own future. But our experiences, they are so much overpowering us. Anything we see anywhere, recall experience number XYZ. And the same old story begins. Jab hum jawan the, God knows. Jab hum jawan the. This is how we get lost either in the outer world or in our experiences. The third, we get lost in our individuality. And that stronger the individuality, more isolated you remain in life. Stronger the individuality, you are unable to give up yourself and merge with the totality. We remain like the iceberg, never supporting life. It is the water which supports, not the iceberg. Such people have everything in life except anybody whom they can talk. Such people like animals. They have dogs, cats. I had gone to somebody's house and they told me, Swamiji, we have got a pet, so don't be afraid. He is not troubleshooter. I said, what is that pet? Python. I said, couldn't you find something else? He said, Swamiji, what do you suggest? I said, keep mosquitoes. Keep a small kind of a cage and keep a mosquito in there. And wherever you go then, and you don't have to have any additional thing. When his feeding type comes, put your finger inside and wait. And then take it out. See? A real blood relation. See? So when we are interacting with the world, we get lost in these three areas. And this is how we suffer. Now what the teacher says, when you are living in this world, dissolve your personality. What is dissolving the personality? पानी तेरा रंग कैसा जिसमें मिलाया वैसा. When we, the elders, go before the children, immediately all the wisdom starts leaking out. Isn't it? Suppose the child is eating the nail. Don't eat the nail. And the child is saying, not that hand. Let him eat. Why you worry? You were also eating. But that time I was child. Constantly becoming big before the children. See, I have a girl, very sweet one. She is a mother of one and a half child rather. So, she wanted to study this special course for the spastic children. I will like to go and serve them. I said, don't do that. If you want to do something good in your life, you have good faculties given by the Lord. Work with the healthy people. Don't work with unhealthy people. There are many unhealthy people working with unhealthy people. You don't go there. Be very attentive. Pavanani manishinam. Our mind has to be purified. And purification of the mind will take place only when we are free from the impact of the interactions in the world. Then only we are living our life scientifically. Otherwise, you go to the internet and download so much of viruses and worms, then your computer gets hung up. What is the use of that kind? No. In the same manner, we get involved in the world and collect so many viruses. Do you know the different types of viruses I told you last time? HIV, biological virus. Pampu, logical virus. Ego, illogical virus. There is no logic behind ego. And we continue to suffer because of this. So real purification is dissolving our individuality and merging with the totality. If this we are able to do, then we are leading ourselves successfully and in a scientific manner. Friends, our Swamiji used to say one thing. To love and to be loved is the fulfillment of human existence. Who will love us? when we are ready to accept the whole world as it is it not? Suppose I am not able to accept somebody as it is, then that person cannot love me. Normally what happens? We want to improve the society. We want to change the society. Instead of that, if you start loving the society, then that is the real spiritual life. Therefore, yajnodana tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam. The mind becomes so pure that it doesn't get disturbed, distracted, depressed, dejected by anything in this world. And for that, what is the technique? How do we perform yajna? How do we perform dhanam, charity? How should we live the life of austerity? Now this is said in the next verse. Etanyapitu karmani sangam tyaktva phalani cha kartavyani time partha nishchitam matamuttamam. Now the technique is given. Etani api karmani sangam tyaktva phalani kartavyani iti. Now here there is a catch. We get caught up in karma in three places. Either before the beginning of the karma, by the crystallization of the individuality or the ego. I will show you. That is kartrutva abhiman, doership before we begin the karma. After the karma is over, our association with the result of the karma. See, you must have seen, on TV, when they hit a good shot. I have done good successful like that. And when it goes wrong, they break the record, that racket. Dumb people. So, before doing the karma, after the karma is done, and during the performance of the action, these are the three places where we have to remain extremely alert. Now, before doing the karma, what is to be done? First thing, if we are clear about our identity, you will never have doubt about your karma. See, be very clear. Which mother is required to be told what is the duty of the mother? Which father is required to be told what is the duty of the father? No. As a mother, as a father, as a son, as a minister, as a magister, as a teacher, as a cheater, we all know our duties very clearly. Then where and what goes wrong? Only one thing. For a short period of time, for a moment, we just forget our identity at a given period of time. And in that short period of forgetting our identity, we go the wrong way. Therefore, before doing karma, the spiritual practice will be always remain alert and responsible what you are at a given period of time. I always remember with reference to this, the most wonderful one act show done by one Bengali gentleman. I have seen his Kabir. So, it is such a wonderful performance, and what is great in that? That one man is acting a dozens of character continuously. Then we say, he is a genius. In the same manner, we all have to play many roles. And if we are able to play all the roles with equal perfection, then we have learned the art of functioning in this world. But when there is an overlapping of the roles, then there is all chaos and confusion. See? We all have different roles. And we have to go on changing. This is how the life is. There was a man frustrated because of his wife. So who was he? Husband. And where are you, husband? In your house. Not in somebody else's house. Isn't it? Your husband, it is not a common noun. So, you are a husband to your wife. Okay. And you had a fight with the wife as usual. But that day it was a little more intense. And in that anger, you leave the home. Carry your bag and go to the office. And when you have reached the office, that husband is still with you. In the office, you cannot be husband. But that day it so happened, husband came with. And then I went and sat in my chair, and my subordinate comes with a application. And very good rapport, there is no problem, no misunderstanding, and very lively relationship. Now, as usual, he comes, sir, I'll be coming back after the lunch break, as I had to take my wife for medical checkup. Nothing happens to the wife, no. Hare Ram, are you an international husband or what? Nothing happens to the wives. Now, why this has happened? Because the husband who was intoxicating that man was not given up. See? Therefore, before doing karma, what is the spiritual practice? Remain alert and aware who you are at a given period of time. That is called a spiritual life. Otherwise, we create chaos for ourselves. Now the second thing. While doing the karma, if you only do one thing, and what is that? Enjoy whatever you have to do. Very simple spiritual practice I am telling you. I am not telling you to take mala in the hand and Krishna, 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 tadka dalo, whether I should do this or whether I should. I am not telling you that. Whatever you are doing, do it happily. You will see, you will never get tired in life. But whenever you are doing, I have to get up in the morning. So getting up from the bed itself is a tiredness. Now how such a buffalo will live through? See? Now when such a person somehow gets out of the way, what he will be looking for? A wallowing pond. Wallowing pond is a place where the buffalo goes and sits. You know, there are houses you must have seen. They'll get up from the bed and go and sit. And their second inning starts. Such people become bedbugs in the next life. So, let us understand the simple technique. Whatever you have to do it cheerfully. If you don't do it. Be very attentive. Either you do it with complete joy and involvement, or totally don't do at all. May what happen. But never do half-heartedly. What we have trained ourselves. Do everything half-heartedly. Anyway, I don't feel like cooking today. When do you feel like cooking? But today particularly, I don't feel like cooking, Anyway, the one who will eat that food, he will get constipation for one life. With a constipated mind, the food cannot give you anything else. And now this habit of ours, be very attentive. Not getting involved fully in whatever we do, this habit comes to our help on the seat of meditation. Now what is our habit? Whatever we do, we don't participate. So we sit for meditation. Okay, we don't participate. You sit down. See? This is what many students have the problem. That we can't concentrate because you have trained yourself. So when we have to study, Okay, now this is the time I am not supposed to participate. So I don't participate. Please remember, this is a small thing. Whatever you do, get yourself fully involved. That is meditation. The other day in Kaivalya Dham, one person came. He said, Swamiji, I want to know about you. I said, okay, my weight is 5 tons. My height is 7 feet. Not like that. Swamiji, you make fun. I said, I don't have to make fun. You are providing me. No, I want to know how many hours you meditate. I said, oh, okay. I think maybe 24 hours. That means you are sitting all the time like this thing? I said, yes. But then how come you are talking to me? You have disturbed me. Go away. See, we have this funny notion. Meditation means an abnormal existence. It's called as meditation. It is not. Meditation is an experience of joy with every breathing that you do. That is meditation. Most of the people suffer maximum on the seat of meditation. And then they will bite their teeth and who is going where? The other day one person asked Swamiji, what are the signs of progress in meditation? I said, first of all, your digestion gets upset. Then you start getting the joint pain. And then third thing, you get a spondylosis. And when this is happening, you are progressing in meditation. Please remember, don't make a cartoon of your own spiritual life. In the present, there is only one way to live. And that is most scientific. Live happily. Whatever you have to do, do happily. If you don't have to do, don't do it. But don't turn your face. Don't do it. But don't turn your face. See, you will be all the time in a meditative poise. Sangam tyaktva phalanicha. Now the last one. Those who have discovered happiness in the present with whatever they are doing, they will never postpone their happiness to be associated with the result of their own actions. Those who imagine that after Swamiji's lecture is over, I will go out and I will be very happy. That means what? Now I am miserable, I accept it. Now those who are miserable in the present, they can never be happy in their whole life. Because we all live only in the present. We cannot live in the future. So what will you do? Continue sitting here miserably, go out to become happy, and your slippers are gone. I don't know why they take away the slippers. One day I went somewhere and he has bought new shoes and all that, they are gone. They are looking here. I said, that is beautiful, take that. No, somebody. No, I am saying where mine has gone. How does it matter? Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam Udao. See, once you take the simple thing, friends, you will see, you will be perfect like Bhagavan Sri Krishna was. See? What was Bhagavan Sri Krishna? In spite of 16,108 mosquitoes around, he never did like this thing. See, that is the joy. This is called as living scientifically. So, yajna dana tapaschaiva पावनानि मनीषिणाम एतान्यपि तु कर्माणि संगम त्यक्त्वा फलानि च. Friends, those who are able to express joy in whatever they do, they are in tune with the divine. And those who want to get happiness through their action from the world, they continue to be beggars throughout life. This is the secret. So, Phalanicha kartavyani me partha nishchitam matamuttamam. This is my firm conviction. And whatever Bhagavan Sri Krishna speaks in Bhagavad Gita, it is his own biography. Every word that is said in Bhagavad Gita was lived by him in letter and spirit. See how many things were implanted on him, superimposed on him, that he has stolen that particular Simantak money, and he has done this, he has done, everybody has condemned him of every kind of thing. Yet, he has no complaints. Uncomplaining existence is spiritual life. The more we are able to live in that spirit, then Bhagavad Gita becomes meaningful to us. Now, after having told this technique, now which are those areas where we should get ourselves involved very systematically and with complete involvement. So what is the technique I told you? Technique number 1, whatever you are doing, pour yourself fully. If you are listening, listen 100%. Don't go and compare it. इसने ऐसा कहा था, उसने वैसा कहा था. I don't know why these Mahatmas come create confusion. There should be only one religion, one Mahatma, and one fool. See? Let us not do all that. Let us make ourselves fully available to whatever we do. You are all the time in meditation. And a person who has learned this art, he has learned the scientific way of living life. Otherwise, if you go to many elderly people, see their life. गम उठाने के लिए मैं तो जिए जाता हूँ. In somebody's house I went, he said to me, Swamiji, you are the only Swami who knows Hindi songs, and I want to sing a song for you. I said, okay, sing. गम उठाने के लिए मैं तो जिए जाता हूँ. I said, no, wrong. गम देने के लिए. Making everybody miserable around. See? Just imagine, wherever you are the center of all bliss. What a beautiful life that will be. It doesn't matter thereafter whether you have gone around Kailash or Kailash has gone around you. It makes no difference. What is important is, are you perfectly cheerful in the present or not? If that is achieved, all your wealth, all your everything is sorted out. Now, after having learned this technique, now which is the area where we should perform, where we should get ourselves involved? In the 7th verse, the teacher says, Niyatasya tu sannyasaha karmano nopapadyate mohatasya parityagaha tamasa parikirtitaha. Like some people have said earlier that Tyajam doshavadityeke karma prahur manishinaha. Some people said karma are creating problem, therefore give up all the karma and become a Babaji and then start a shop. Sadhu Pan Bidi shop. यहाँ गणेश बीड़ी सस्ते भाव पे मिलती है. Why? Highly spiritual. Therefore, here the teacher says, look here. Niyatasya tu sannyasaha. Na upapadyate. Never do that. If you do it, it is the wrong way. Because there are three types of renunciation which are spoken of. Which are those three, and how we get in a wrong attitude of life? This will be said in the next class. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.